Hello, good evening, and welcome to MOCHA Talk. I'm Denise Bunning, and thanks to FAIR for creating this safe space for us to chit-chat about various monthly topics. As a former teacher, support group leader, and of course, food allergy mom, I'm thrilled that our January episode is about resolutions, past and present. Of course, resolutions can happen at any time of the year, but there's just something fresh and clean about a new year. So here, Happy New Year.
Oh, nice.
And I'm bringing back the cup from last month because it lights up. So cheers to January and 2021. And with that, I'm going to introduce tonight's guests so that they can introduce themselves. And first guest is Ali Khan. Take it away, Ali.
You caught me. And just for the record, I've been accused of drinking out of a fire extinguisher. This is just a large water bottle. Hey guys, yeah. So quickly, my name's Ali Khan. What can I say? Maybe you've seen me on TV if you watch Food Network or Cooking Channel. Actually, just got announced less than 24 hours ago. New series I'm hosting, Spring Baking Championship, premieres Monday, February 22nd, 9 p.m. 8 Central. So be sure to check it out on Food Network and the new streaming service Discovery Plus. I'm the host of Cheap Eats, also on Cooking Channel, Best Thing Ever Ate. Bunch of TV stuff, but why am I here? I mean, why wouldn't I want to be here? But I have a son, a 9-year-old, who has nut allergies, peanut and tree nut. And it's been quite the journey. And it's very interesting with food allergies and food, and especially coming from a place like Food Network, because, you know, food can be such pleasure and food can literally be pain, and it's so much. It's like everything. And I feel like any opportunity for us to, you know, learn more about food, because it's so easy to eat. Like in the history of human civilization, it's easy to eat. But I think, you know, there's a lot we kind of take for granted or don't exactly understand. And with food allergies, I think so much of it comes down to like just awareness. And I'm a big fan of the subs. Like, I came from the food blogging world, so I love food hacks, you know. But you know, that's about it for right now. And I got a big water bottle. That's it. That's all.
All right. Okay, next up, Tiffany Leone. Take it away.
Hi, I'm Tiffany Leon. I'm the newest member of the FAIR education team, so I work closely with Anita. I'm also a registered dietitian. Before this, I was at Georgetown University, helping students navigate the food and dining space on campus. So I'm excited to be part of FAIR. I do not have any food allergies myself, but I am expecting a baby boy in May. So with all this new research coming out on early introduction, I'm excited to practice what I preach come October, November, right around that time. So thanks for having me.
Very exciting. A food allergy baby. I love it. Anita.
Hi, everyone. My name is Anita Roach, and I am the Vice President of Education and Voice of Patient at FAIR. So I head up our education activities, including professional training, as well as patient and caregiver education, as well as really understanding from the community the needs and perspectives so we can build programs that really work for everyday person. I have 2 toddlers. I'm trying not to scare Tiffany with all of the stories, and my youngest has egg and peanut allergy.
Wonderful. Okay, so let's get started. Our first question is, did you have any resolutions last January for 2020? What were they? And were you able to keep them considering this unprecedented year? So I'm going to go around in a circle. So Ali, I'm going to start with you.
Me. Okay. Well, I should probably start with this. When it comes to resolution, first of all, look, I'm not going to lie. I'm a slacker. I'm a total slacker. So resolutions, like, first of all, like, I have to think about what I even thought about, and then I know I never fulfill them. That's just the way it goes with me. But I will say this, you know, over the last 2 years, and it started with the resolution in 2018, I just really wanted to get into a better rhythm with diet and exercise. Like, I knew it, I understood it up here, I just wasn't doing it a lot. And 2019 was a banner year for me in terms of, you know what, I say, for me, for Ali Khan, I got skinny. You know what I mean? I was throwing away the shirts and finding the old shirts. It was really great. It was a great feeling. And then when 2019 kind of ended, it's that holiday time. The holiday time gets you, doesn't it? It's like you have this excuse like, and then, my wife works in the academic world, so she's got 2 weeks off, so everyone's hanging out, So when 2020 rolled around, I was like, I felt a little disappointed, not because I was in the worst shape of my life, but because I knew how far I had come in 2019. So I made a promise to myself, I'm going to get back on track. I even found an Instagram post that said, I'm going to get back on track. And you know what happened next, Denise?
You did not, or you did?
Well, quarantine.
I'm excited.
Thank you. Bingo. Who said it? Was it Tiffany?
Quarantine.
Yeah, quarantine happened. And I do a lot of boot camp workouts, and those were with it was an outdoor boot camp with groups. I live in Austin, so we have a lot of warm weather days. And it was hard to adjust, like I was kind of doing it and I wasn't that far off. And then I got to summer and I was like, shirt's not fitting. So 14-15,
right?
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. I wish it was. Yeah. It was 15 actually. It was 15. But I adapted to it. I signed up for my workout program with Zoom, and it's kind of weird to say. The second half of 2020 was kind of a great year for me. I don't know what to say. It just was, and adapting to the pandemic, I started to do my workout on Zoom. I did one earlier. I was in the shower not that long ago. It actually gave me more options to do it. So it worked out well. So I kind of had a salvage of my 2020 resolution with the second half of 2020. So there you go.
All right.
I'm a slacker. Right. I told you I'm a slacker. I kind of, but I'm still in it.
A slacker, but you're not really a slacker. And considering what you do with your life, I don't know so much if I believe you're really a slacker. So, okay, Tiffany, your turn.
So last holiday season, my husband and I were on our honeymoon, and we were in Argentina. We went to Uruguay. We went to Chile. And we took a ferry. We took plane rides, trains. We did all of the traveling in between. And instead of bringing a book, I brought my iPad and binge watched Orange is the New Black. So I watched a lot of TV on my honeymoon, which seems strange, but I did because we were traveling so much. Anyway, my resolution was to start reading more. Stop binge watching and read more. So I think I tallied it the other day. I think in 2020 I read 15 books, and I can't take all the credit. My husband and I joined a book club once quarantine hit. So again, this is the silver lining, I guess, of being in the middle of a pandemic. But we started reading books with one of my husband's good friends from growing up. And so it's been a really cool experience. I will say that it has now morphed into a book/movie club because we are trying to catch up on some of these new shows and movies that are coming out. But we do talk on Sunday nights, and we will be talking tonight about our book. Right now we're reading Shuggie Bain. Apparently it's super popular. You can't find it in bookstores anywhere, but thank goodness for Kindle because we're still able to read it. So I did keep that resolution. Yes.
I love that you're reading. That's great. I mean, again, as a former teacher, I loved reading to my kids. As a matter of fact, I have way too many kids' books because to part with them would just be like, cutting my arm off or my leg off. Like, no, you liked that when you were 5. No, yeah. So that's it, Anyway, books are great. I love books.
Well, I can send you my address if you want to send them my way. I'm sure my child.
If I have duplicates, I'll definitely think about that. Anita, how about you?
So we really were looking forward to this perfect window of opportunity when you have little ones for starting to travel. And so we kind of got past that newborn stage where they would be able to travel quietly. But then last year we started to get excited about being able to travel with the girls and really have them enjoy where we were going and be excited. and be young enough to get in free some places and really take advantage of them still being kind of young. So we had many plans, Disney, going to the West Coast, going maybe out of the country, lots of great plans for 2020. And then, as everyone's mentioned, quarantine hit us. And so we were kind of bummed out. Some of our plans had to just be put aside. But what we were able to do, we were able to travel within our neighborhood and within our community. Again, with the little ones, a lot is still new to them. And so being able to find quiet days, maybe it was a rainy day where a lot of people wouldn't be out and about, but we were able to go to a national park or, go on a hike. And because of the rain, there weren't as many crowds. We took advantage of that quiet time and that off season. So we weren't able to travel as much as we would have liked, but we really did get to enjoy our community and the surrounding areas last year.
That's awesome. Field trips with little kids are the greatest. So for me, again, type A teacher, I'm always trying to be organized and on top of things. And maybe this sounds a little lame, but I was so excited to finally once and for all get all of my contacts into my iPhone and everyone that was in my inner circle, their birthday on my calendar. So that is very exciting for me. And I actually still print it out on paper because even though it's a virtual world, I like paper and it's all color coded and it makes me thrilled and happy. And so that was exciting that I got that checked off the list. Okay, ready for the second question. All right. Do you remember making any resolutions any time that you hilariously failed at? So hilariously failed at. All right, Allie, it's back to you.
Well, I mean, it's funny. It didn't really take long for me to figure out this one. Dryuary was a complete disaster for 2021. I'm pretty sure it got brought up on the first, and I had a beer within hours of even debating it. The one caveat I have is that I have decided to start my Dryuary this week. My usual routine is I tend not to imbibe on the weekdays, like Monday through Thursday, Sunday through Thursday, something like that. Kind of save it for the weekend. But I don't know if it's a holiday time and when you're 43 years old. But yeah, I can't do it. So I'm gonna try and salvage my Dryuary for the rest of the month. But yeah, believe me, it was within 2 hours. I've seen movies that were longer than my Dryuary. I wasn't really committed, but I did say yes. So yeah.
It's not fair. It's not fair this year because New Year's Day was a Friday, and so we were already in the weekend.
Right? It wouldn't end. I was like, okay, this is great, and it's also and also too, I go to this great bar. It's called The Chair in Front of the TV. Last call is now, and the price
always
is
open.
You know what I mean? It's this was kind of cool, but I'm I don't know. Yeah, I feel like Dryuary, that may have been the ultimate.
It's like a damp January.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm sure there are times where, and it doesn't even have to be a New Year's resolution, where I've said to myself, I am not going to eat this. Whenever I say to myself, I'm not going to eat that thing, that's an epic failure. I feel like that's just, it doesn't work that way.
Well, that's why your game plan for weekday versus weekend, I think, can really set you up for success. Because sometimes you can't go completely dry or without anything, and you kind of have to find windows of opportunity.
Yeah.
That's a good windows of opportunity.
I guess I won't always try it back to why we're talking here and stuff like that. But, there's just something about it's so easy to do it all and overindulge. You know what I mean? But it's hard. It's hard to sell modesty, even though this nation is built on that puritanical kind of mindset, which I'm happy to break. But yeah, it's hard to live that way. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm successfully completing dry January as well as dry December, November, October, and the months to come. So,
is your husband along for the ride? Because
Oh no,
that is such a good question. He's not.
Oh no. claimed he would, or claimed he might also do dry 9-10 months. I think that lasted shorter than a movie also. That was pretty quick.
Did you have any epic fails, Tiffany? Any resolutions?
I couldn't think of something specific for me, because I'm sure it has happened, but I tried to not form my resolutions around food and drink, because I work with so many people that do try to do food and drink, and I see them failing. So I try and skip that. But when you brought up funny resolutions or epic fails, it just reminded me of the Office episode when Pam wanted everyone to come up with this New Year's resolution, and she created this whole board, and Creed had the best one. It was to do one cartwheel. And that's really what it's all about, right? Aim low, start low. If you have small steps, you can definitely, or hopefully, achieve that goal. And he did it. He did one cartwheel and he was done for the whole year. So I think he's on to something.
Yeah.
Good advice. Yeah.
There you go. Anita, how about you? Any epic fails?
So not a resolution tied to New Year's, but I'm always wanting to try to keep things in the same place, especially with my two kids. Sometimes things kind of get misplaced or get all over the place. So I'm always trying to start with my phone, make sure I'm always putting it down in the same place. And so I was thinking about our conversation today, last night, and writing some things down and literally talking to my husband about this. And so I get up, come back down to the couch, and I have no idea where my phone is. I'm like, what did I do with my phone? I just was thinking about it being a resolution. I looked in the washing machine. I looked in the refrigerator. There were nowhere to be found. Eventually, I found it in the diaper bag, but
there you go.
Yeah, so I'm going to start over and start smaller.
So, you've got little kids, so you might not have time to binge, but there are so many shows that teach you how to organize and do little tricks and everything. And it's funny, we were talking about books before. I watched The Home Edit, and they tell you to rainbow order. I'm a big rainbow goer. They tell you to rainbow order your books. And so I rainbow ordered my books, and it made me happy. It's a little thing. My kids, my husband and my sons were like, but how do you know which book is where? And I was like, well, they're my books, so of course I know. But it's visually appealing to me. But and then my brother-in-law, he has to have a bowl. Wherever he comes over, and the first thing he asks, he was like, Denise, I need a bowl. Because he comes in and jumps his stuff into his bowl. So maybe you need a special bowl, Anita.
Ooh, I kind of like that idea. I will.
It's not fancy, it's just a bowl. And wherever you go, someone has one.
Like Tiffany said, it's about starting simple, right? So maybe I just need that one bowl, and my phone will go there.
There you go. There you go. I would say my big epic fail for my whole life is I bite my nails. But the good news is that nowadays they make fake ones.
Yeah, I think that's
there we go. There we go. Okay, so tell me about a resolution from the past that you did keep.
Look, I'm going to just lay it out. I'm 43 years old. I'm old. You know what I mean? And a couple years ago, I was saw the doctor, and he was like, we have to talk about, this wasn't a cosmetic thing, but he was like, we have to talk about your diet and things you need to get. So this could not sound more old man, but basically it was the guy was like, you got to eat more fiber. So I really looked at my everyday diet, and I got the app that had all my macronutrients and stuff like that, and literally with fiber as a big part of it, I changed my diet, and it's consistently modified ever since the end of 2018. And it's funny. It's it's kind of a big thing of mine. Usually 5 days a week, 6 days a week, I'll have a bowl of oatmeal. It's the one way it'll keep me on track to kind of set myself right for the rest of the day in terms of eating and stuff like that. And I've stuck with it. I've really stuck with it. I eat a lot of oatmeal. Sometimes this resolution has worked out so well. It makes me sad because I'm like, oh, this is so boring. You know what I mean? Is there anything else I can eat? But the oatmeal just works in so many different ways. Like I said, I'm an old person and I'm literally eating more oatmeal at the dawn of 2019. It stuck with me. It worked.
That's great. Well, success works. If it works for you, and I think in this food allergy community, it's like what works for some doesn't work for others. And you could be deathly allergic to one, and that's the one food that one particular family can have. So it's like the flexibility. I think what's been fascinating to me about watching how FARE and the food allergy community has come together, it's really just respecting where you are. If you are fruit allergic, or let's say you're choosing to avoid gluten, or you're celiac, or you have eosinophilic esophagitis, or you just have to eat your oatmeal every day. It doesn't matter, but like respecting someone where they are and just moving along, I think just like brings this community together. And I have felt that positivity. I'm so blessed and I feel so excited about that, like the positive movement that FARE has created with all of these shows and episodes, and just feeling like a part of, like, don't worry, we got your back. How can we help you? And you trip and fall, we got you. We can get you, or whatever you need. We're there to, pass the baton or give you a tip or a trick. So I love that. Okay, so Tiffany, on to you.
So I set myself up for this one to last the entire year just because of its general, I guess I'll just get into it, but I wanted to run a marathon. My mom has run something like 150 marathons in her life. She's run like 200 half marathons. She's crazy. But she really got me into it because she started signing me up for half marathons in 2011. So I started running a little bit more. It's also the cheapest gym because you can just run outside as long as you have a good pair of shoes. So anyway, in 2017, I really wanted to run a marathon. So I signed up for the DC Marine Corps Marathon, which is actually in October, but they do the lottery earlier in the year, so you have plenty of time to train. I got in from the lottery, for better or for worse, I guess. And I trained all through that summer. I completed my first and maybe only marathon. Haven't decided if I'm going to go back. But I completed my first marathon. Check. Yep. 4 hours, 23 minutes, something like that. And,
wow, that's a good time.
Pretty proud of that. Yeah. Why not? So I'm still running half marathons with her, but again, haven't signed up for any more goals.
Yeah, that's super awesome. How about you, Anita?
So a few years back, I had a resolution to stay more connected with friends, and especially friends from the past and relatives. And so I set up a game plan for always on the weekend, setting aside time to have phone calls, because I was getting so tied up into a text message or, a message on social media, but actually having conversations, running down my list of friends and family that I hadn't spoken to in a while, and just connecting, catching up, sometimes watching a show together and being on the phone together, just hearing about how people were doing was such a good way to stay connected, and didn't take a lot of time, but really helped me, especially since I was doing it on the weekend and Sundays, set me up to just have a more successful week. And so, of course, I found that to be really helpful, continuing that last year with the quarantine and staying indoors and just being able to connect. And it's really nice, since I've been at FARE now, I really see how this community has been able to stay connected even during the pandemic. So our FARE recognized support groups really being able to find different virtual ways to chat, to share ideas and resources. Other families who engage with FARE, either by attending our Living Teal Global Summit or other activities, it's been nice to see that. I think connection has been kind of top of mind for everyone.
Yeah, completely agree with you. I mean, it's not a big surprise. I like to talk and I like to communicate, but I like to hug. So I'm like virtually hugging everyone, right? So same thing, like with our family, I started what I call like the power texts, because I'll do it by I'll do like the whole family. and then I'll just do maybe like the moms or maybe the cousins. And then there have been a bunch of, different groups of like, whether it's support group leaders or local moms or friends or whatever. But like you said, I think that like having that support, and of course, I'm famous for my very crazy Bitmoji that has a purple face because I love purple. So that always brings a giggle or something to someone's face. But I'm proud that I have not gone back. I quit Diet Coke a million years ago. And it was actually a challenge from my younger son. And he was like, you're not going to be able to like whatever. And I was like, oh, no, you're not going to like challenge your mother. And I have not had a sip since that happened. So I'm proud of myself for not going back to Diet Coke. But I am an avid coffee drinker, but I don't think that counts. And I was very excited to find, look at this, look at the name of the coffee.
Wow. Perfect.
I saw Mocha coffee. I was like, what? Like, it was so exciting. I saw that the other day and I was like, whoa. Yeah. So, okay, here we go. Here's the final big question. Get ready. What are your resolutions for this year? All right, back to you, Allie.
Okay, so I had to kind of think about this because part of, like, I'm in the business where I'm always having to like engage on social media, right? Very, very important. And something I made one specific effort just in my calendar to be like, I have a friend who's got this, actually, I don't have to be big about it. Jeff Morrow's got this great show called, Supermarket Crash. Is that what it's? Kitchen Crash. It's called Kitchen Crash. Airs on Wednesday nights on Food Network. It's a fun competition show where you have to go, the chef has to go to a house, convince a person to let them in the house. It's COVID safe. Give them your whatever food you have, and then they cook the food out on the street. It's really fun. And I made a point in my calendar to post every week that the show is airing and get live on Twitter about it. And then it made me think of the bigger picture with this question, which is like supporting my own community. Like, again, like, it's funny, I feel like to a certain degree, like all of us have to use like, social media, and we can use these channels to broadcast whatever we want. And I'm realizing now too, like it really dawned on me, like, I'm always thinking about what to post. I'm like, what am I talking about? I have a whole network. I have a community, I think it is about like kind of going, especially, like after this crazy year that's 2020, you get to a point where it's like, you gotta like get out there and speak up for what you care about, what your values are. And for me, that's a big part of that is going to be supporting the community that I have around me, and making a point to do that habitually. I also want to double my followers on Instagram, but that's a whole other story.
And there's that too. But I think, being yourself, and obviously everybody knows you and you're so entertaining, but being a food allergy dad, like, thank you. Like, thank you very much for, being a part of this community and stepping up and being willing to say, hey, I am a food allergy dad. And, I know not everyone, whether you're famous or a regular person or whatever, like not everyone wants to kind of like air their dirty laundry kind of thing. And I think that it's, as a, again, a former elementary school teacher with special, handling special needs, I think that, I always taught my kids to support being different and to be thankful. Like, it would be so boring if everyone was the same, and everybody has something and that kind of, light. But I think when lots of different types of people step up and are a part of the community, it just makes the community so much richer and stronger. So thank you for that. And back to you, Tiffany.
Well, having a baby kind of writes this resolution for itself, I think. But in the first half of the year, just trying to prepare myself as much as you can, I guess. I don't know. Read the baby books, take the birthing class, learn infant CPR, all that stuff. But then once the baby finally comes, like really practicing what I've been preaching. I used to work on a peds unit when I was in the clinic, and now having this FAIR community, the Babies First community around me, being able to work with them to help me with early introduction, and then hopefully being able to use that to help other food allergy moms or moms just work through the early introduction as well. So I think it's going to, like I said, it's going to be an exciting year, but I think that's the resolution writes itself here.
Super exciting. Okay, Anita.
So very similar to what Ali was saying, I really look forward to in 2021 finding different ways to support my community. We live in a very restaurant-heavy area, and really they've been, as you can imagine, impacted by the pandemic. And so finding ways where we could either order directly from them for meals to feed the family, make it a bit easier for me during the week, or finding local bookstores who are still open and really using them as a resource, trying to just support the community and share that with my girls and really explain to them why we're doing what we're doing, because people are struggling, and as much as we can remain a community, the better for everyone.
For sure. All right, this is not a heavy lift on a resolution, but I decided I am growing my hair until I get a vaccine because it's an activity. So of course, with, along with the eating better, exercising more, and of course, I am just dying to see people in person. So I'm trying to pre-plan as many activities that did not happen. If somebody's birthday, you were supposed to get together, we got to do that one. Oh, it was someone's anniversary. Oh, we got to do that one. The girls' trips, the boys' trips. So I'm trying to pre-plan all of that stuff. But anything for fun and getting together with people is a positive thing for me, whether it's a work or a food allergy event or what have you, right? Because no matter where I go, I end up talking about food allergies. So I just talk about it all the time. So that's what I do. Okay, so no pressure, but since resolutions should be more than guideposts than laws, but I'd love to circle back in 12 months and see how we all did.
Fair enough.
So we're gonna have another episode of MOCHA Talk in a year to see how the year went and how we did, right?
Pressure.
I think that's, and then last time around, any words of wisdom can be about anything. Doesn't have to be about a resolution. Anything that's top of your mind. Back to you, Ellie.
I gotta say, when Anita was talking about supporting restaurants, I feel like after, it's hard to kind of look at 2021 and not think about what's happened this year. And I think everything we do, everything we say, whatever, we have a lot of power to impact and shape things by our actions. And if we are purposeful about what those actions are. I mean, I know for us, it was really strange, the world shuts down, you're like, what's going to happen next? And it's like, okay, we're just going to huddle at home and just kind of stay at home. And then all of a sudden you start to come out a little bit and go, oh, let's order takeout from this restaurant to support them or whatever. But I think, what we do, how we spend our money, who we support, and sharing that support can do a lot, and we're in this, look, especially, what's the date today? January 14th. We all know what's been going on for the last 14 days, really a couple months, right? And I think, I think we can, I think if we are vocal about our actions and supporting people and then encouraging people to support people by our actions, I think that's a really important thing. I think that's something we all need to do. I mean, literally, Anita, as you said that, it's I realize now if I do go do takeout or something, I can do it and support that restaurant that makes my neighborhood better. And that's important. You know what I mean? That we do have, in this crazy, crazy world we're in right now, we do have some power to shape things a little bit, make things better.
Being positive. I love that. How about you, Tiffany?
Yeah, so I'm kind of like you, Denise, in that I'm getting ready to plan all these exciting things with people that I haven't seen for the whole year. Also keeping in mind I will have an infant, so that's a whole nother layer. But still, I'm someone that loves to have something on the calendar for the weekend or, Wednesday night. And for the last year, it's pretty much just been book club, Saturday, Sundays and Thursdays. But I think if this pandemic and quarantine has caused anything, it's really to take a breath, take a minute to just breathe. One of the things, and I didn't talk about this before, but that I've been trying to work on, but is to start meditating a little bit, because it just like calms you down, and it really just lets you recenter and refocus on things that are really important to you or important to your community, and then you can take a step forward, and then you can take the action. Because if you're just reacting, then it can end up being worse almost. So just, take a deep breath, calm down, and think about everything and everyone involved, and then move forward.
That's great. I love that. How about you, Anita?
I would say enjoying the moment. I think last year I did a lot of, once 2021 comes, or we're almost out of this. And, I think there's definitely some truth to that. I think that we're always working towards a better place, whether within our own community or within our family, within what we do, but also, kind of honor what you're doing in the moment, what you were able to accomplish that week or that day, the couple of pages you were able to read today. I think all of those mini wins help. And sometimes you do want to look at the long-term goal, but sometimes it's nice to look at what you were able to accomplish today.
I think so. I think that the small, medium, large, I think that's super important. It doesn't matter that, it's January and we're talking about it, but, a whole year of little mini wins, medium wins, make up for big wins. And being with you has been like so fun. And again, I'm going to give you my little cheers, and I'm going to change my color here. There we go. Teal. That was the teal one.
Very nice.
Oh my
nice.
goodness. Okay. It always goes too quickly. And it's really been such an honor and a privilege sharing this special time with you all. As always, I send love, rainbows, laughter, and gratitude to everyone. And then good luck on everybody's resolutions, and stay safe with that baby, Tiffany, in your belly. And please stay safe, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.